What would you say to somebody who's coming across your work for the first time?
Mouth breathing is a disaster for your health. 11 years ago, when all of my respiratory problems that I had quite a few, suddenly went away once I learned how to breathe properly.
How much truth actually is there in mewing, and is it just something that silly, insecure teenagers do?
It is not important for young kids to mew. It's important for young kids to have proper oral posture. These are two completely different things. You will never resolve anxiety unless you get control of your breathing. When you're constantly over-breathing, you're sending your brain signals that you are stressed out, and then your brain reacts by having you breathe too much. Learning how to breathe deep and slowly through your nose can really transform your health.
So as well as generalized health, something you talk about in the book is the impact that it can have, that different breathing can have on your sports performance. And it's something that was a bit taboo, and certain people did, but it was shunned off as not effective. But I think you said that new evidence has come to light. So could you tell us about what changing your breathing can do for sport, under breathing can do for sport, etc., and how you can change your sports performance?
I think the new evidence that's come to light right now is that tens of thousands of athletes are really focusing on their breathing and seeing huge gains in performance. There are entire systems, academies right now set up to train professional soccer players, to train players in the NBA. I've spoken with a lot of these people who do this professionally, and they have said this has made such an incredible difference. And they're also a little bitter because they said, why are we just learning this now? Some of these guys are at the end of their careers, and learning how to really focus on their breath is allowing them to stay in the game literally much longer than they would be able to do otherwise. So I think that, sort of what I said at the beginning of the podcast is these things are so simple. It's hard to monetize breathing, even though people are really trying to do it. So some of them are successful right now, but they're so simple that people think they're not going to work until they actually do them, until they look at the data, and until they start seeing results. And this is something that is just absolutely exploding in professional sports and for amateurs, is to focus on the breath. And it's exploding because it works so well.
Am I right in saying that the issue when you're running out of it's a colloquial phrase, running out of breath, which I think is actually incorrect, because am I correct in saying that you're never actually running out of oxygen? What you're doing is you begin to not be able to tolerate the amounts of carbon dioxide that are building up. So is the performance about learning to be able to tolerate more carbon dioxide?
It is for a lot of athletes. Yeah, you're entirely right. When people feel that breathlessness, it rarely, if ever, has anything to do with oxygen. Unless you're at altitude, then everything's, changes. But if you're around sea level, it has to do with CO2 levels building up. So right now, if you were to exhale and hold your breath, after several seconds, you're going to feel this need to breathe, right? This nagging need to breathe. That is not dictated by oxygen levels. It's dictated by rising levels of carbon dioxide. So the more CO2 you can tolerate, that you become comfortable with for athletic performance, the better. And the reason is that CO2 helps to open up those blood vessels. Just as we had talked about before, the reason why people suffer from anxiety and panic, they're overbreathing all the time. Having more CO2 in your body, or healthy levels, allow those blood vessels to stay open, allows for easier delivery of oxygen. And only in the presence of CO2 can oxygen exchange to all those hungry cells which need that oxygen. This gets into pretty complicated biochemistry, but that's how it works. So if you're overbreathing, and so many people are doing this, you go out and watch people jogging and they're just thinking they're doing themselves favors, but they're actually denying themselves an efficient way of uploading oxygen that way. So look at a professional at a real butt-kicking marathon runner like Kempoji, right? Look at how he's breathing as he finishes a marathon in 2 hours. He's breathing in and out through his nose. His shoulders are down, calm, relaxed, slow breaths as he's running, at 13 miles per hour for 2 hours. So he's only able to compete at that level by focusing on his breath, and he is a master at it.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the clip from that episode. If you'd like to check out the full interview with James Nestor, you can click right here. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave your comments below.